I'm Tina Desiree Berg, and welcome to the 34th.
Hello. Okay, so you said that you care about basic needs. Do you have thoughts to stand up for the people in your district that are suffering from health issues due to air pollution? You have one of the worst environmental justice records in a district with 75% of oil drilling and 35% of refineries in our state. You have voted no on several bills to limit this air pollution. Do you think that would have anything to do with the nearly $200,000 that you've received from fossil fuel industries?
So what's your question?
Why have you voted no?
You voted no on what?
On environmental issues.
I haven't voted no. So what she's talking about, she got this from my phone, right? She's probably sitting there and that's fine. But get your facts right.
I'm actually here from Project Super Blue.
Okay.
So you get to start as well, please.
That's fine. So I'm saving people's lives, right? I get whatever the percentage was that you named, that's fine, right? I've been focused on the people who lose their children on a daily basis. I've been focused on jobs, getting brothers and sisters who come out of prison to get them a job. That has been my priority. My priority is making sure that I save the person who's laying under the tree, the homeless individuals. So that has been my priority. That has been my trajectory since I've been elected. I have a record. When you look at what I voted on, what I didn't vote on, the bill you're talking about, which I have no reference because you haven't told me the bill it was, or you just put it out there. Look at what I have voted on and look at the things that the people who I've helped through my public policy. I've been elected since 2005. And through 2005, I have stood up for my community. You have people who don't know this community, who's trying to change the narrative. Do I put people out of work? And that's what this young lady is saying. How do a father who get out of prison is supposed to take care of themselves?
This week on the podcast, I'm very excited to be speaking to Assembly District candidate Fatima Iqbal-Zubair, who is running in AD 65. Welcome.
Thank you for having me here, Tina.
I'm very excited to talk about you because I think this is a very important race. The guy you're running against has been pro-fossil fuel. You are pro-environment justice. There's lots of differences between the two of you. I know you've been endorsed by Bernie Sanders. I believe you've been endorsed by several of the environmental groups, Sunrise Movement, perhaps, here in Los Angeles. So I want to get into some of the environmental issues in your district because it is one of the most polluted in the country. And I'm not sure that a lot of folks realize that. They think of California as being, the green state, what have you. And we have a lot of fossil fuels here. So right off the top, though, I wanted to ask you about the show that you're in called More Than Robots. You're a teacher at Watts High School, and a group of your students are on this Disney Plus show. It's very exciting. How did that happen?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Thank you, Tina, for asking about More Than Robots. It kind of just fell into our lap. So, and I think the reason it did was our team, when we was founded in 2017, was obviously only Black and brown students, right? I teach in Watts, and it's a low-income community. And so in sort of the STEM world and the robotics world, in the FIRST robotics world, FIRST, by the way, is a nonprofit that provides, STEM education after school. We were kind of a novelty, right? Because, let's talk about it. A lot of these spaces are filled with folks that are white, that have more privilege, that have parents with a college education, things like that. So our team, obviously I love my students and I love the community of Watts. I mean, it's my district, right? But I'm so proud that the world, when the team started, has seen kind of their greatness, right? And seen their resilience and seen basically just being able to humanize them in the best way possible, right? And because of that, we never asked for any of these things, but we started getting some media attention in different places. And and then my husband's also has a robotics team. So the documentary folks that did it said, oh, this would be a cool story. Like, the husband and wife duo in LA, and our teams actually are very different. His team has a lot more privileges in terms of their space and their resources and money than we have. So it just created a really nice dynamic. And so that's how it kind of happened.
So much fun. And I love that you're working with these at-risk youths in that area. So speaking of Sunrise Movement, which is mainly a group that is run by youth, they're worried about obviously the consequences of climate change for their generation. They think the older generations have sort of turned their back on them in this regard. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Recently, there was a couple of climate change scientists that pinned themselves, or actually chained themselves, I should say, to the Chase Bank in downtown Los Angeles to protest climate change.
Yeah, I'm here because I'm desperate. I'm desperate for something to be done about climate breakdown. I mean, it's getting so bad, and I've tried to do so many things already, and nothing's worked. So this is a global day of action by a group called Scientists Rebelling. So there's 1,200 scientists in over 30 countries that are risking arrest through civil disobedience.
So they're all doing this all over the world right now?
They're doing this all over the world today, yeah. And it's following on the heels of the Working Group 3 IPCC report, which says that we're completely out of time. We got to stop increasing the fossil fuel industry and increasing emissions and start coming down right now. And it's not happening. World leaders are still arguing and still pushing to expand the fossil fuel industry, which is taking us exactly in the wrong direction we need to go if we want to have a livable planet in the future. So that's why I'm here. I'm here for my kids too.
Here for your kids too.
Yeah, I'm terrified of I'm terrified of even the next few years. Like the heat dome and what's happened in the last couple of years has been terrifying. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
That was going to be my question. Even if we stop emitting carbon today, I think we're still facing devastating consequences, right? Like
when we stop emitting CO2, as soon as we stop that, however hot it gets, that's basically how hot it stays. So every day we wait to stop it makes it a little bit worse. So that's why it's not about net zero by 2050. It's not, forget about 2 degrees Celsius or 1.5 degrees Celsius. What everyone needs to know is that every day we wait, it gets a little worse. That's all. It's as simple as that. Okay. So we got to stop it now. The faster we stop it, the more we save. The longer we wait, the more we lose.
And why Chase Bank?
Because Chase Bank funds the fossil fuel industry more than any other bank on the planet. And they got to stop it.
Change.
Yeah.
And we had this insane law enforcement turnout for these 4 scientists that were basically chilling at the doors, chained to the doors, nothing violent. There's no real risk there. But there was a massive, massive law enforcement turnout. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it kind of shows what our priorities are as a city, right? It shows a complete dissonance and disconnect with what the people of LA really want. And I think, just speaking about climate, I mean, we could talk about homelessness in the distance there as well, and public safety and all of these things. But with all those issues, actually, so I'll just kind of talk about all of them. I think with climate, since this was a nonviolent climate protest, it shows that, it's just ironic, right? That these are folks that are fighting to keep our community safe in existence, right? Protect our planet. Yet it for some reason police came out and deemed this as a breach in law, right? Or breach in something that is good, right? Which it is. And so it's just this complete dissonance and disconnect. And then I think when you look at the other issues, which I'm sure we might talk about, like homelessness and public safety, there's a complete disconnect there too with what what Angelinos want, and even folks in my district want, versus what's been offered and what hasn't worked, frankly.